Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today, we're talking thicko. That's right. The whiny Muppet back in the news because he's in court and he has lots of dumb stuff to say. So do we. So we're going to talk about it. But first, I want to introduce my favorite co-host here to break things down with me with the angry Muppet. Say hi.
Hi, this is Jay, also known as Dr. Bad Vibes on YouTube and Twitch. We're here to discuss intense legal proceedings about important stuff or Harry's voicemails.
So we had this drawing come out this morning, and I can't get enough of it. It perfectly sums up his anger, his whiny face, his sniveling personality. So I would like to give this artist a hand because I'm really enjoying it. But I will say, and this is no shade to the artist, you know what it immediately made me think of? This. Please tell me you remember this fresco and that they had to restore it and it ended up like this.
Not to be that guy, but you mean Fresco, right? Fresco's the sparkling. Oh. That's the sparkling grapefruit drink. This is the paint done directly onto plaster.
Wait, I have a troll on the microphone now?
You gotta pay the troll toll. Yeah. Actually, but yeah, I mean, nice comparison. That's, I see the resemblance.
Wow, where is my head at? Oh, well, let's get into this case. Speaking of somebody without a head, here we go. By the way, this headline has had me laughing all morning. This is what made me want to record this right here. Thicko. I love it. Is that just not an American term, or have I just not really been using it? Because I'm going to start using it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if we're just out of the loop. I mean, I've heard people, at least in America, being described as thick. So maybe it's like thick. Not with two C's, but I-C-K. But maybe it's one of those, UK slang things where, like, we understand it, but don't quite use it here, like lift instead of elevator. Yeah, I mean, you can, but... correct us if we're wrong in the comments. I've never really heard thicko used. I've heard it, but again, I'm thinking that's a British thing, and
it means idiot, right? Basically.
Oh yeah. Regardless, they're calling him dumb, and that's why he's mad. So whatever slang term you prefer to use, run with it.
Hey, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, good idea. Whatever your favorite slang term for thicko or whatever synonym you adjacent that you love to use, leave that in the comments, but please don't direct it at us. Prince Harry brands government rock bottom, calls Diana's butler Paul Burrell a two-faced poop. Can't cuss on YouTube much, and says stories about James Hewitt being his father made him fear he'd be ousted from the royal family. In statement at Mirror publisher hacking case.
So this comes from the Daily Mail, and it says, Prince Harry today launched an extraordinary attack on the government, branding it, quote, rock bottom. He would know, right? I mean, I'm sorry. He doesn't have the right to call anything rock bottom. I would say he and his wife are there. And addressed rumors that Princess Diana's lover, James Hewitt, was his father as he became the first British royal to testify in open court since 1891. The Duke of Sussex lambasted number 10 as part of his historic appearance in the witness box at the High Court in London this morning, and also referred to Paul Burrell as two-faced shit. Harry was wearing a navy suit, okay, who cares what he's wearing? Seriously, though, this guy.
I like that they had to add the detail of what he's wearing. Like, hey, like us as readers, like, hey, what you wearing, Harry? Like, we're the ones leaving. We're the ones communicating via voicemail. Leave us a dirty voicemail about what kind of suit you're wearing, bruh.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that or think about what Harry's wearing. But I do want to point out, so he's going after the government over there, and over here, there's rumors, talks, whatever it is, of his stupid wife running for government. But also, I would just like to remind everybody he called our First Amendment, quote, bonkers. So he's got a lot to say about a lot of things. So because he doesn't understand things, he calls them bonkers and rock bottom.
So he doesn't like his own government. He doesn't like our government. Okay, cool. Well, go somewhere else. Yeah. Like, if he can't coexist with any government. Maybe he needs to. I think that platform, the sovereign nation of Sealand, the old oil platform, I think that's off the coast of the UK or Ireland somewhere. Maybe they can move there and just live quietly and have all the privacy they want.
Yeah, but then the Peps might chase him in a near catastrophic boat chase.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be all over that, like an episode of Miami Vice. Minus, well, I was about to say minus the white stuff, but that may actually be involved in that too. So there you go. In an astonishing trashing of the convention that royals avoid meddling in politics, Harry raged about the, quote, state of our press and our government, both of which I believe are at rock bottom. Whatever that may mean. The fifth in line to the throne has become the first senior royal to give evidence in one of the monarch's courts in 132 years, as he sues the Mirror's publisher for alleged hacking, which it denies. And as the world was captivated by Harry's landmark appearance, he used his pulpit beneath the high court coat of arms of his father, the sovereign, to claim. And boy, he has lots of claims. Here's a bunch of bullet points. So Princess Diana's former butler, Paul Burrell, was a two-faced poopy. Bringing that up a lot. Let's see. And then stories about James Hewitt being his biological father made him fear I might be ousted from the royal family. Okay. He worried he would be expelled from Eton for taking drugs.
Nothing's his fault.
Nothing is his fault. Diana's supposed paranoia mirrored his own fears of friends betraying him. What? Okay. Journalist hacked his girlfriend Chelsea Davy after he dressed as a fancy dress word that you cannot see. Say on YouTube. Horrific personal attacks and intimidation on him and Meghan were allegedly made by former editor Piers Morgan, famously a big fan of Prince Harry. He is exposing media criminality for moral reasons and as a soldier upholding important values. That is a bold claim.
Yeah, the thing that strikes me here is, again, it's extraordinary to me how nothing is his fault. I just keep, even the way this is worded, he was worried he'd be expelled from Eton for taking substances. And it's like, well, don't take substances, you prick. And I'm calling BS on that. He knew he was above it. He could get out of anything. He's, again, using Diana. It's just, there's a lot here. And it just makes, to me, it just further shows what a prick he is. Just entitled prick. I'm still not over yesterday supposed to be available and then not being available, and just an entitled prick. And blaming a kid's birthday, like, oh, okay, you couldn't move it to like Saturday so you could be to court. You didn't know that this trial was happening. None of it makes any sense. He's so full of it. Okay, again, they're talking about what he wore. Who cares about that? In his most outspoken attack on the British press yet, Harry demanded, how much more blood will stain their typing fingers? Oh my God. Before someone could put a stop to this madness. I'm sorry. How much more blood will stain your crayon fingers from all the bullshit you wrote in your book? How about that? And all the BS you guys peddle on your podcast and your worldwide privacy tour. Then the arrogant prick went on to claim that he was motivated by, quote, wanting to save journalism as a profession. Just take that in. He thinks he can save all of journalism. My God, the arrogance on this guy. Just a reminder that this beady-eyed Muppet said that he and only he could save the royal family. From what? He doesn't know. But he just thinks he is the greatest thing ever and that only he can save people from things. Like, that's about as specific as he can get.
Wow, that is a very large amount of arrogance. If people have been watching this channel for a while, I'm citing something very obscure, but way back, maybe multiple times on some videos, I pointed out my favorite thing about all of this is when he speaks. So if you recall hearing that, this is why, because he says some insane, stupid stuff. I mean, the just, again, the arrogance of anyone even thinking that. And to be, he's so against journalism. He like literally said he hated journalists. Yeah. He obviously hates freedom of speech.
Unless it's his speech.
Unless it's his, yes. So have fun in America. And it's just so dumb. I don't even know what to say. Like,
It's so dumb it makes you mad.
Yeah, like so he can save the royal family from what? I will save them from all the money and ghouls. Like there's something some monster after them or whatever. I guess that's the media.
There is. It's Meghan Markle.
Well, yeah, it's true. That's probably the biggest danger right now, and he's enabling it. I mean, if he's this arrogant and he calls himself a soldier, does he think he ended the war in Afghanistan? Did he single-handedly save us? Did he come in like Captain Britain, like a superhero? So, anyways, that's a lot of bold claims there.
Wow.
During cross-examination today, Andrew Green, KC for MGN, asked Harry about part of his witness statement in which he states, "How much more?" I can't read that laughing. How much more blood will stain their typing fingers before someone can put a stop to this madness? Oh, my God. Mr. Green asked if the Duke meant blood on their hands in relation to a specific article and further asked him what he meant by it. I want to know what he meant by it, too. Harry said, some of the editors and journalists are responsible for causing a lot of pain, upset, and in some cases speaking personally, death. What? I'm so confused. He then said his reference to, quote, blood on their hands was more broadly towards the press in general, adding, I haven't named the journalists in that particular paragraph. This sounds like ramblings of a madman. Like that. That was very hard to read because I was so confused by what he's trying to say. Like, journalists are typing. Is this like, does he think that we're living in the anime Death Note? They can type stuff and it just like takes people out. It's crazy.
I'm going to get to the highlights of what Ginger said, but I'm saving the best for Jay there at the end because he said something real nuts. But just know that during this, he asked to be referred to as Prince Harry. Again, with the titles. His statement was 25,538 words. He apparently read it off. They did say he memorized quite a bit of it, but I'm thinking he probably memorized I can't imagine his brain works. Again, thicko. Let's see here. What else? He mentioned his wife, Meghan, 5 times. And he mentions Chelsea Davy 118 times. Ooh, I bet Meghan's pissed about that. I know it's timeline of when it happened, but still, I just like to think that Meghan's pissed about that.
Yeah, again with the titles, they famously said they don't need them, and then they won't let go of them. It's so nuts. I mean, the only thing I could figure is maybe once he moved to America, he realized he can't be known as the artist formerly known as Prince Harry because nothing compares to him. But that being said, he's got a whole list of claims. I mean, it's just documents and documents. He said so many words. He's probably taking notes. He's got his crown out to say, "My penis is oscillating. My penis is oscillating." This whole thing is nuts.
Yeah. Now, you might have thought it can't get any more nuts than it already has. Au contraire, mon frère, to quote Joey from Friends. It does, because he goes into, well, I'll let Jay explain it.
So Harry recounts the infamous time in 2005 he dressed as a German soldier, while also, like me, because he must think he's on YouTube, not using the word that references said German soldier. He says there was a lot of press coverage of me at this time, as I had attended a fancy dress party. Okay, so I don't know if this is one of those UK colloquialisms that doesn't translate to US slang. I don't think anyone calls that I don't think we refer to Halloween parties as a fancy dress party. When I say fancy dress party, I think maybe suit and tie, possibly a fascinator. If you want to rock it, guys, go ahead. But it sounds like a Halloween party. When I hear fancy dress, I don't think, I'm going to show up as Frankenstein's monster or sexy Daisy or whatever.
But even if so, let's say fancy dress means Halloween party in the UK. That doesn't mean dress like a certain German horrible man.
Yeah, I don't think anybody lumps that in with fancy in any means. Anyways, that aside, let's keep going. Harry, who was 20 at the time, triggered a storm of outrage when a picture was published in The Sun of his wearing the outfit, complete with a bad sign, the red band with a little black insignia on his arm, to a native and colonial party. He said it was a poor choice of costume. And he was very sorry if I caused any offense or embarrassment to anyone. Oh gosh, that's hard to even read. All right. In his memoir Spare, he claimed that Prince William and Kate encouraged him to wear the distasteful soldier costume. Yeah, that was on them, because nothing is his fault. In the statement to the court, he said it was a challenging period for me. I had been immature. I hadn't really thought about my actions, and I made a stupid decision. But he complained about the press. My mistakes were being played out publicly. Because we don't show up to parties like that. We don't show up to anything like that. Like, oh gosh. Harry alleges the Mirror, which had followed up with the Sun story, must have used hacking, because it reported that his girlfriend Chelsea Davy was furious and had given me a tongue lashing down the phone. Okay, so he's mad that his phone got hacked and his girlfriend at the time got mad at him for hitting on a girl. Okay, so is that what this lawsuit's really about? I mean, this whole thing's crazy. But I will say my favorite part is his idea of fancy dress is a Halloween costume with the most poor decision ever. Like, someone must have dressed him for coronation. If he was left to his own devices, do you think he would have shown up to coronation with face paint on?
Oh my God, that's brilliant. So when Meghan's done with him and wants to get him in big trouble and dump him, that's what she'll do. She'll encourage him to paint his face a certain shade and be like, oh, he's the word. Wow, that was a bunch of insane things thrown together by an insane person. But yeah, as more stuff comes out, we will be talking about it. Could not talk about this stuff because, again, just the ego on this guy. I say it all the time. I don't know why I continue to be surprised, but I am. I've just never seen anything like it. I always think it's her with the ego, but then you see stuff like this and you're like, my God, he's got a full dose of it too. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. We so appreciate it. Again, as more news comes out, we'll talk about it. But Jay, tell everybody where to find you and what you're working on, and tell them about the foot stuff. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Well, I would like to add, for somebody that has made lots of opinions about the First Amendment, Harry, disliking the First Amendment, free speech is important. That's how we do what we do on YouTube, and that's how he does what he does on the stand. Please don't ever revoke his free speech, because whenever he speaks, it's gold. So anyways, you can also find me on YouTube playing video games as Dr. Bad Vibes. Yeah, if you're in the foot stuff, lots of foot stuff going on in Street Fighter 6. Mainly kicking, but oddly detailed feet in that. So I guess that's the satisfying a fan base that I'm not a part of. But Street Fighter 6, there we go. That's the game I'm playing. It's the big game right now. Been playing that since I was a kid, because it's fun. You're pretending that the feet aren't your thing, and you're totally leaving out the big boobed fighters. Those are your things. Anyway, yep, definitely check out his stuff. And as always, thank you for being here. We so appreciate each and every one of you. And again, as more insane news comes out, we will discuss. And I hope you have the best day. Definitely check out merch. We got Recollections May Vary, Make It Make Sense, or check out Patreon. Yeah, so the moral of that story is, if it's something on the internet and it seems confusing, it's probably somebody's fetish. It almost sounds like a Jeff Foxworthy thing. If you're into feet, you might have a fetish. You sound like Dr. Phil. Oh yeah, it was more Dr. Phil. You might have. Now, if you're not into feet, you might need to go to the ranch. For more insane rants like this, check out Patreon. Patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. That's where you can become an executive producer and get your shout out. Speaking of which, I'm going to shout out my executive producers now. So huge thank you to Linda. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you to Paige. Huge thank you to Teresa. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Aaron and Frank. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Ann M. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Ann H. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Glynis.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Adair Becker. Thank you to Erica. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Barb G. Thank you to Diana. Thank you, Allison B. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Lori. Thank you to Pauline. Thank you to KT. Thank you, Jolene. Thank you, Stromboli. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Loie. Thank you, Lucy H. Thank you to Georgia. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Robbins Landing. Thank you to Helen. Thank you to Mara. Thank you, Ashley C. Thank you to Molly. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Sand Squid. Thank you to Rach. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Penny. Thank you, Domby. Thank you, Android P. Thank you to Sheena. Thank you, Aaron M. Thank you, Faye. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Spectrum Mom. Thank you, Vanessa B. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Mimi Heathcote. Thank you, Misty. Thank you, Candy. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you to Bree. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you to Elvis Rose here on YouTube. Thank you to Lori. Thank you, Tim B. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Elisa. Thank you, Kathy with a C. Thank you, Allison. I so appreciate you all. Thank you if you are on the Patreon. Thank you if you're an executive producer. And hey, if you're not, definitely check it out. We have a lot of fun over there. Guys, I hope you have the best day, and I will talk to you again soon. Can't wait to bring you another video like this. Take care. Bye-bye.